Ndị be anyị ekeneni m unu n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị sị na ya dịrị ndị Igbo na mma. Dịka o si dị, ihe a bụ Igbo Media ka anyị si wee na-ewetara unu ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa gbasịta maka ana Igbo and Igbo community and ihe na-ebe na Nigeria. Ya bụ ife ka anyị na-ewetara unu na Igbo Media. Dịka isi wee na-esola anyị, ọ bụ na nke a bụ ụbọchị izizi gị ị na-abịa n'ilu akwụkwọ na Igbo Media, kabaru ka i subscribe and turn on your notification ka ị lapụ miss any of our update dịka anyị na-etikwu ya n'ilu akwụkwọ kwa mgbe. Dịka o si dị, o nwere ya wetara n'ụbọchị nke taa gbasịta maka ka ya bụ ife si ada and gbasịta maka ka ya bụ ife si akpọtụ n'ala Igbo. Biko mma achọ ka ige ya bụ ife. Ihe a bụ Biafran Prime Minister Maazị Simon Ekpa. O nwere ife okwu n'ilu akwụkwọ mma achọ ka unu ga-esi ya bụ ife ọ na-adọrọpụrụ anyị ifu nche n'ilu akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ihe ndị a niile okwu. Alright, over to you, sir.
Hello everyone. So here is Sahara Reporters and a whole lot of other newspapers reporting. Peter Obi asked Tinubu to obey court and release IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. Obi stated that there was no justification for the ongoing detention of the IPOB leader, especially since he has been acquitted by the courts. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, has called on Bola Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, along with other imprisoned freedom fighters. Obi stated that there was no justification for the ongoing detention of the IPOB leader, especially since he has been acquitted by the courts. The 2023 presidential candidate, while addressing journalists on Saturday on Onitsha, Anambra State, urged leaders to intensify efforts in addressing insecurity. He warned that without immediate action, the nation could spiral into failure. According to him, I don't see any reason for his continuous detention, especially as the courts have granted him bail. The government must obey the court. The rule of law, he said, is an intricate asset that we must cherish and live with. I use this opportunity to plead with the federal government to ensure that all those who are in similar conditions are released and discussed. We are in a democracy, he said, and we should not be doing things that are arbitrary and not within the law. He explained that with the increasing insecurity in the country, Nigeria was gradually moving towards becoming a failed state unless urgent action was taken to salvage the situation. Why we say Nigeria is becoming a failed state? Nigeria has been a failed state since. I mean, we've entered that category. But anyway, they said it is when somebody wakes up that his morning, starts. So, the primary work of government, according to Mr. Peter Obi, is the security of lives and properties. It is the foundation on which people can live in any nation because no one can stay in an insecure place. It is worrisome what is happening in Nigeria with the news of killings, abductions, and other vices that have made Nigeria one of the most insecure places on earth. In fact, it is leading to a failed nation. I commend the government for their efforts so far, but there's a need to do more, and all leaders must come together to join hands and fight this. In the Southeast, there's a need for the governors to come together to be able to tackle it. Even in economic agenda, I want to see the Southeast governors work closely more. We want to see them come together and also bring together other groups in the zone. I'm against riots or destruction of government assets and properties because it is still scarce resources that we are going to use to repair them. But I'm not against peaceful protest, according to Mr. Peter Obi. Peaceful protest is allowed, but it must be for a reason and not for personal interest of some people to satisfy a particular interest. It must be properly articulated and properly directed. I recall when people said they were protesting police brutality, and I said to them, no, let's rather deal with the leadership. If we have good leaders, their agents can't be bad. The problem is leadership. If the leaders are competent, have the capacity to do the right thing, their agents will follow their example. I want to use this opportunity to say that all those who are being held because of one protest or the other should be released, whether it is freedom fighters, NSAS protesters, or even because of freedom of speech, be it journalists, let them all be released immediately. We are in a democratic country and people have the right under the Constitution to express themselves freely. They also have the right to peacefully protest, and we must listen to them. We must listen to those who say they are not happy. That is why it is a democratic nation. We should not stop acting. We should stop acting dictatorial and behave as if this is not a democratic country. Anyway, so that's what Mr. Peter Obi himself, had said, and the way, like he rightly said, Tinubu and the Nigerian government, of course, do not have any right to keep holding onto the IPOB leader Kanu, and of course Nnamdi Kanu, and of course looking at the whole thing with even though it was Buhari that had arrested, Nnamdi Kanu, brought him all the way from Kenya, but Tinubu's illegitimate government also continued with that. And we have situation whereby the courts have said, let him go, let him be, and that's it. If you can't just keep somebody and just keep them without trial, or just keep prolonging it, just because you want to. That's not the way it works. When it comes to the law, it doesn't matter whether you like someone or you do not like someone. There are laid down procedures in the law that has to be followed, and before somebody can be punished for something, that person must have committed an offense. And where the person has not committed any offense, then the person should not be made to face anything. And if you feel the person has committed some offense, then go ahead. That's where you have your case. Prove your case, bring the evidence, and definitely that particular person, should then be prosecuted. At the end of the day, this whole recklessness, this whole judicial recklessness has also affected us as a nation economically, because a lot of people are wary. A lot of people will not want to do business in Nigeria. A lot of people will not want to come and do investment, because who wants to invest in a place where somebody can just wake up and do whatever they want to do, and there will be no court to do anything? Look at the riots, not riots, that's the wrong word. Look at the protest that is happening in Kenya, and see how the judiciary is standing with the people. The judiciary is warning the executive, but rather here in Nigeria, the judiciary will either keep quiet or they will support the executive for them to, come after citizens and do all sorts of things and all manner of things, to citizens. At the end of the day, we really need to focus on building that country where rule of law will be sacrosanct and nobody will be above the law, irrespective of who you think you are, what position you have, or whatever you think of yourself. We almost have that country where everyone is treated equally, and where everyone has a right, equal right, and when everyone is dignified. Not a country where the lives of people don't matter, not a country where people are not allowed to have voices, people are not allowed to come out, people are not allowed to protest, people are not allowed to, do the basic things that they want to do. So yeah, I'll round up here. This is what you've heard Mr. Peter Obi's opinion and remark, and the call on Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu, as the court has said, he should be released. In the statement, of course, he says that the courts had acquitted the Nnamdi Kanu. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Ndị be anyị daalụ nne nnukwu unu si wee na-esore na Igbo Media dịka unu si na-esore anyị sị na Chukwu oke abịa mapụrụ mmiri na ya gosi niile n'ofu n'ofu otu anyị kwuru otu akọ ya dịrịrị ise 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 kabakwa alụ ka itinye alụ nke gị na ihe niile na gbasara maka ihe Biafran Prime Minister kwugasị n'iru akwụkwọ ana ndị ọzọ dị iche iche kabarụ ka itinye alụ nke gị ife ichere n'ụdị nke gị gbasara maka ya bụ ife dịka anyị nọkwa na-echekwa olileanya na Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ya pụta oge na-adịghị anya na n'ụlọ mkpọrọ, anyị sị na Chukwu oke abịa ma ga-enye ya ike nọnyere ya, chekwaba ya, mana anyị kwuru otu a ka ọ ya dịrịrị. Ise. Thank you, and also stay tuned at Eastern News 24. Ka emesịa nụ ndị be anyị.